Holy cow! What, just a cow? Yeah, I sort of debated about, I debated for quite a while today. I debated if I would wanted to do a video on Dr. Fauci as I used to call him. I debated to actually do that, but then I decided against my better judgment and not go ahead and doing that video because I'm trying to stay away from as much is from politics as I possibly can. And that's a whole can of worms I'm not sure I want to get into because in the past I've done misinformation according to YouTube and I would get random bans on my YouTube channel. So you know what? I'm not really gonna even go into that because it's a quite confusing tell what is going on with that whole situation with COVID and him being on trial and a lot of other people being on trial. So it's a rather confusing mess, and it's a whole big can of worms that I'm not really really want to get into because of my goal I did for a New Year resolution. And yes, that is technically government related. And I forgot to put the TV on mute. So, sorry about that. But hopefully you'll be able to hear the video even though I had Home Improvement playing in the background. That was standing. Now, the NCAA, it used to be 64 teams. And I actually missed the days when it was 64 teams. Now, the NCAA tournament, the men's basketball tournament, is actually one of the oldest ongoing tournaments in sports. It predates even the NBA. The NBA has been going since the 1950s. And originally the NCAA tournament was, how many teams was it? Yeah, it was really only 8 teams. And you only had to win about 3 games to actually win the national championship. Because it really wasn't, it was mainly on the radio when it first started. Because the NCAA tournament predates TV. It predates TV by quite a few years. It's been going since 1939. And as it's, expanded, they went to, see, UCLA and their dominance. The NCAA tournament was like between 32 and 40 teams in the 60s and 70s. But then as the late 70s came to an end, and you had the 1979 national championship game between Bird and Magic, which would go way over to the NBA and on their brand, and how much that would make the NBA explode with ratings because of that rivalry that Bird and Magic had, and so back to the NCAA tournament. So after 79, they started expanding a little bit more, and for quite a few years, it was 64 teams, which I thought was a good number. You still had, you had to win 6 games, which is really tough to do. It's one game. It's not like the NBA Finals or in hockey, NHL, best of 5, best of 7, what have you. Is you have to have 6 great games in a row. 1 loss and your season is done. So it's one and done. It's no double knockout stage or anything like that. And they did that 64 teams. They got started in about 85. I think 84, 85, somewhere in that area. And that seemed to work. They got rid of in the Final Four, they got rid of the 3rd place game, which I just thought was stupid. I always thought that was stupid. For many, many years, they would have like the Final Four, and the 2 winners in the Final Four game would meet in the championship game, which made sense. But then they had the 2 losers in the Final Four, and they would meet in the 3rd place game. That literally made no sense. And I'm surprised the NCAA tournament, I'm surprised the NCAA hasn't even brought that back. And now, oh my goodness, the NCAA tournament is becoming very, it's almost, you could say it's almost lost its luster. You could almost say it's losing its prestige because they keep adding teams into the tournament. We are in 76 next year it's going to be 76 teams, schools that are in the NCAA tournament. Do you realize that's about 25% of the schools that have basketball? Now I'm only talking about the division, whatever it is, like Division 1 or 2. I'm only talking about those schools. There's about 300 NCAA basketball teams in the United States, which includes Alaska and Hawaii. So yes, there's only about 325 or something like that schools, and you're adding 76? I don't think it's 6 games anymore at this point. I think it's went up one that you have to win 7 games. This is making the tournament sound really, really congested with all these. I have all these play-in games. They have all the rounds, the first round, second round, semifinal, the regional finals, and you have the Final Four. They're adding too many games. Way too many games, and it's losing its prestige. The NBA playoffs is starting to lose their prestige too, because they keep adding these play-in games and adding tournaments in season, and it's losing its prestige. The NFL playoffs have pretty much been unchanged for the most part, but the NCAA tournament they keep expanding it to unbelievable levels. They keep this up, we're gonna have 300 teams in the NCAA tournament. And I got to thinking about this. What is this really about? What is this really about with the NCAA? Well, we have the NIL deals, which is it's all about the Benjamins. It's like the scene in Tobey Maguire. Show me the money. That's what it's about. TV deals, endorsements, commercials, advertisements, shoe deals, you name it. It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about the money. The NCAA tournament used to be a month, but now with this many games, you're making it more than a month. You're making it a month and a half. That might be too much for people to keep their attention on the NCAA tournament. It used to be the team that got the hottest would win the NCAA tournament. It's still going to be like that, but you have way, way, way too many games. And I don't think this is the last time that the NCAA tournament is going to expand. I think you're going to keep expanding, and eventually you're going to have so many teams in there that you're going to have to make it a double elimination knockout round tournament, because it's becoming too convoluted. It's getting rid of the prestige. The prestige is very important with these tournaments, and this hurts it more than helps it. This does not help it at all. It's a rather stupid idea that the NCAA is doing, because now that you're adding extra teams, you're going to have some really bad teams that win a tournament, especially in the lower conferences, the really small conferences. You could have a team that'd be like 10 and 17 that makes the NCAA tournament, when it used to be the best teams made the tournament. And yes, I know the further it gets in the tournament, the powerhouse schools start to show why they're powerhouse schools. But with this, I think this could hurt the power conferences with all these tournaments, with all these games they're adding. It also could hurt the smaller conferences and the smaller schools, because they may not get a chance to even get in. And it used to mean so much more when it was just the 64 teams. There was no play-in games. There was none of that. It was just 64 teams. That was it. 76? That is way, way, way too many, no matter what anybody thinks. And no matter what, it's about the money. It's about the money. That's what the college football playoff is. That's the reason they added all those extra games. It's about the money. That's the way it is with the Ncaa tournament. That's the reason they've added all these extra games. It's about the money. Nothing more and nothing else. They're going to make more money than they've ever made before adding several games to the Ncaa tournament list, because there is so many games, and you have to broadcast these on TV, and you have your advertisements that they can advertise and make more money. That's all this is about. This is why college athletes are bitching up a storm that they should be getting paid like professional athletes because of shit like this. This is reason why one and done is so popular, because they go to college and they're playing a game, right or wrong. Should they get paid? That's up for a debate on a whole separate video. So, and that's the reason that they're only going to college for 1 year, jumping to the pros to get those big endorsements like Nike and getting the contracts that they would get for 3 or 4 years. So that's the reason they're jumping to the pros so early, because they're not getting their cut of the deal that they think they deserve, right or wrong, in the Ncaa. That's the thing about college basketball. It's different than the NFL, different than the college, the college ranks of football. You know, college football is they have to go to school for at least 3 years before declaring for the draft. But in Ncaa basketball, it's 1 year, and you can declare for the pros. Just bring back drafting high school athletes. Just bring it back. Half of these athletes don't want to. You know, I'm going way off base with this when this was just supposed to be about the Ncaa tournament and how convoluted it is and how it loses its prestige. It's now becoming, yeah, you could say that. It's becoming a who's who. It's becoming a who's in the Ncaa tournament, because they have to add so many teams, and they are not done expanding. Someday, you're going to hear them say 175 teams. Yes, they will. Guaranteed. Me and Mom are saying that's all for now.
That's all for now.